Bloomington, Indiana, as the athletes in action get ready to take on the Indiana Hoosiers in the final exhibition game of the year. Hello everybody, John Laskowski. Joining me will be Ted Kitchell. We're here to cover the action. And Indiana won their first exhibition game by 3 points over Croatia on Friday, but 16 three-point shots. Lots of ways Indiana can improve on that game.
Yeah, they came back from a 10-point deficit. And I think tonight you'll see a big difference in that Indiana did do a little bit of preparation for this game. For the Croatian game, they did no preparation. They came out, they were cold, they didn't know who was going to shoot the three, who was not. Tonight they have done some preparation. Look for them to do a little bit better job as far as recovering to the shooters. Against three-point shooting teams, Indiana's defense always helps off, but you've got to recover back to the shooter. You can see right here, Michael Hermon did not hustle and get down the floor because of it. Croatia got a quick three-pointer. Indiana going to have to do a better job.
Time now for the Coqueline fueling factors.
Look at the important factors for the athletes in action. Rebounding, a big key. They've been getting out-rebounded, 13 rebounds a game. They need to get on the board. And shooting percentage right now in the 4 games that they've played so far, shooting at a 40% clip. Their opponents are shooting at 50%. For Indiana, they must defend the three-point shot. They got outscored 48-6 from the three-point line last week. And inside offense, they've got to get the ball inside. That's where AIA is weak. Indiana must score and get to the free throw line.
Stop by Coqueline for this month's special, your choice of car care products for only 99 cents. Over 55 years of family pride does make a difference. And we'll be back.
Look at tonight's starting lineup. The one guy you do not see in there is Brian Evans. Coach Knight a little disappointed with the defensive effort by Brian and the entire Indiana team last week. We can take a look. The main key to look at is Rod Foster. Very, very quick kid that played at UCLA. Likes to run the ball up and down the floor. Will shoot at any time. A great three-point shooter. We're going to have Michael Hermon on him tonight, and hopefully we can do a better job against the three-pointers.
The leading scorers are from the inside, so of course will not count. This is an exhibition game, but that will begin shortly as Indiana begins its season. There's Sharm Schuerman, the coach of athletes in action, formerly a player at Iowa and a coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes back in the 50s. Good to see Sharm. I got to spend some time with him before the game, and he's brought his group here again, and looking forward to tonight's ball game. Coach Bob Knight, now Ted, they're beginning to focus in. A lot more preparation in today's ball game. Utah game less than a week away, as that game will be Monday night. And the team really still trying to find that focus, and really those 5, 6, 7 guys who are going to play a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting this week that they decided to do a little preparation, not only for the athletes in action, but they're also preparing for the Utah game already, getting ready. They know some things that Coach Majerus is obviously going to throw at them, but last week they didn't have any preparation. So I think you'll see a big difference in the defense, because when you do preparation, obviously you try to take certain things away from teams, and tonight, hopefully, they'll be able to take a few of the three-pointers away that we didn't last week.
As Coach Knight mentioned, he likes this athletes in action team. They've got some veteran players. They've got young players. It's a good early season test. And there you see Coach again. He's been on the officials as far as trying to get a balance as to what they're expecting of traveling and the hand-checking rules are as to what he's taught his players. Our officials tonight are Steve Welmer, Eric Harmon, and Jerry Petro. That was Jerry Petro there with Coach Knight. So it'll be interesting to see how the athletes play. They've always got good quick guards, but their scoring has been coming from the inside in their previous games. And we're ready to go. Alan Henderson will jump, and Brian Evans noticeably out of the lineup for defensive reasons. Tip controlled or knocked out of bounds by Indiana. Brian is dressed and on the Indiana bench. And we'll see if he does get in the game today or not. Robert Sewell, 40 inbounding. Number 14, Ryan Yoder with the ball. Here's Foster, very recognizable figure out of UCLA. Good matchup there as Hart and Foster, very quick players. Good pass inside. Lewis with an easy jumper, and the athletes jump out in front 2-zip.
Once again, Indiana's defense not able to contain. Rod Foster goes over. Somebody has to help pick up. Somebody's open, and good guards are going to find open people.
Man-to-man defense. Lindemann really working inside. And that foul on Emory Lewis. Lewis is 6'10", 210 out of Arizona State. There's Todd Lindemann, 7'1", 242. Non-shooting, Indiana out of bounds.
Lindemann really did a nice job to start the game last week. I think he ended up with 15. You see right there, Patrick Knight and Lindemann on the same side, Patrick is going to have to show people that he can hit that jump shot. If not, people are just going to back in and plug up things in the middle.
And as you mentioned, Ted, unlike last year, an outside shooting team, this is an inside team for Indiana offensively. And that's the big guy. Lindemann just misses. Michael Hermon with the board. But Cornett comes out with the board. A fast break. Here's Yoder. Sewell outside. He's their leading scorer. Not afraid to take that shot. Good rebound, weak side by Hart.
You see Steve Hart, one thing he can do is he can rebound and he can get it up the floor, something Coach Knight wants him to do.
Again, Indiana goes inside, so that's obviously the game plan. Good shot by Henderson is off, so Indiana starts off on the cool side, still 2-0.
I don't think Coach Knight's really looking for a fall-away jump shot. Alan Henderson's got to use his strength inside, get into people, and try to get to the foul line if he doesn't make the shot.
Foster with a quick move left and then dishes off. Shot is missed. Foster comes from out of bounds to get the ball. And the shot clock did not reset, so it's down to 9 seconds.
Looks for Foster and Yoder both to drive the ball and then drop it off. Here's Yoder. You can see there he does. Drives the middle and then drops it off. They're going to do that a lot. Rod Foster, that looks like he came down on somebody's foot and might have sprained his ankle.
Had a chance to talk with Ryan before the game. He's an Indiana boy from Topeka, Indiana, up near Elkhart. Went to Westview High School. Wanted to say hello to his mom and dad. Let's hope he's okay and can continue to play.
Spent his college days at Colorado State.
Had a try with the Denver Nuggets this year and was cut and has joined this Athletes in Action team. Looks like that left ankle. Trainer Tim Garl is out to take a look. Let's take a look and see if we can see how this mishap happened.
Usually come down on somebody's foot. I'm sure it came down on Alan Henderson's foot right there. That's awful. Painful thing to have happen.
It's 4-0 early as Yoder still on the ground. Indiana's got their team around it. Michael Hermon, a chance to start today, Ted. What's it like for a freshman to come into a game? We've got some experienced players to get the start, even though it's an exhibition game. What kind of thoughts go through his mind?
I'm sure there are a lot of thoughts going through his mind. I think the most important thing is that you got to gather yourself and get out there and do the things that Coach Knight wants done. In his case, that would be handling the basketball, getting the ball where it needs to be, and playing defense. I think Michael Hermon is in there to play defense, put some pressure on the ball handler, yet not let him get to the basket. He's got to contain his man, yet put a lot of pressure on. This Indiana team needs to play better defense. I know Coach Knight was very disappointed in the effort they got against Croatia.
Here you saw a little smile as Yoder walked off the floor, so hopefully that's not a serious injury. Maybe he'll even get a chance to come back in today's game. Good pressure. Pat Knight has it. Picks his dribble up. Good double team. Here's Michael Hermon. Good pass inside to Henderson. Up strong with the reverse layup.
Good left hand by Alan Henderson. Did a nice job of using the basket there so people could not get up and block the shot, but great pass by Michael Hermon, able to see the floor.
4-2, Indiana down by
2. See, David Daniels is in the game now at point guard. Not quite as quick as Yoder was, but he's a very, very good shooter.
Good jumping there by Sewell, number 40. And a whistle.
One thing the coach has talked about with Sewell is just that he's very, very active. And right there, you got a chance to look at. He's a guy that's going to get to the board. You got to get a body on him, get him blocked out, or he's going to get a lot of offensive rebound.
Sewell, the leading scorer at 15.5 a game, followed by Mike Ravizzi at 13.3, but he will not play today. He is out with an injury. There's a turnover. Daniels turns it over. Indiana has the ball.
I think Daniels is a guy that Hermon can really put a lot of pressure on him. The first couple times he's had the ball, Michael Hermon's really tried to get up into him and really pressure him.
High offense by Indiana. They back screen for Hart. A pass is bobbled and off of Lindemann. Turnover gives the ball to the Athletes in Action.
Okay, last time down the floor he made a great decision. Saw Alan Henderson fed him. This time down the floor, there's a screen, and Todd Lindemann is the man that has to step out. Bad decision trying to give Todd Lindemann the basketball 25 feet away from the basket. Todd Lindemann knew better. He went to the basket. Because of it, we threw the ball out of bounds.
Outside shot, Sewell is off. Henderson with the board.
Good block out by Indiana.
Hermon brings it up, and it's stolen. Daniels picked him, and now it's one-on-one. And he drives the length of the floor. Easy layup. 6-2 now, Athletes in Action.
Hermon not taking care of the basketball.
Pat Knight open, jump shot is off. Emory Lewis with the board. So Indiana, slow start offensively tonight.
Excuse me, Laz, that right there is what athletes in action really like to do, and that's what Croatia did. They're going to run the basketball up to the floor. They got guys that fill the wings behind the three-point line, and they're going to let it go at any time.
Rod Foster with that three. It's 8-2. Hermon double team. Pat Knight, good drive inside. Layup is good. He makes a tough shot. This athletes in action team usually comes in, Ted, after playing the night before. They do have some rest. They played Monday night at Southern Illinois. So a little better rest than they've had in previous years. They seem to be showing it here, 8-4 lead early.
Yeah, they are 0-4 on their tour right now. Kentucky really pounded them by about 40 points, but they did. They only lost to Florida, and Florida was a Final Four team last year. Only lost to Florida by 5.
We've got timeout with 16 minutes left. Athletes in action lead at 8-4. We'll be back after these messages. Back into play. Athletes in action with the ball. Lewis inside, good movement of the feet by Lindemann, prevents the drive inside.
One thing Michael Hermon does, as the shot clock is down to 1, and a good defense. Poor recognition by athletes in action. An experienced group usually does not let that happen to him.
Let's take a look at Foster's shot. I thought it might have been a three-pointer. They only gave him 2. Let's see where he was. Yes, just on the line, and it was a 2-pointer. That's our 8-4 score.
Those referees, they do such a fantastic job out there. And as you question them, I can't believe it.
Henderson is off with the shot. Indiana fights for the board. Pat Knight's wide open. Jumper is off, and Lewis with the board.
Rod Foster bumped heads with one of his players. Pretty good blow right there. I think he's going to be all right. He's going to take a second and try to
Now, don't tell me you wouldn't have gone to that official and said, hey, ref, my foot was behind that line. I want 3 points. I know you would have.
Right here, you can see, I think it might be Todd Lindemann who bumps heads with him. Boom! Oh, my goodness.
Got him in the side of the head.
We might be able to use him at Purdue on Saturday if he can throw blocks like that.
Foster is going to stay in the game. And he knows he got his bell rung by Lindemann that time, but good aggressive play by Todd. Here's a look at Foster, scratching that cheek a little bit.
One thing to watch about Michael Hermon, I was going to say a little bit ago, is he play really, really hard, and then he just relaxes just for a second, offensively and defense. Now, in high school, he could probably get by with that, but as he plays on the college level, he's not going to be able to relax for that 1 or 2 seconds and take a breather, because he's going to play against people who are just either going to go by him or they're going to take the ball away from him.
Hermon can really help Indiana this year with his defensive quickness, his footwork to really harass that point guard as he did there. Here's Cornett. Played for a while with the Milwaukee Bucks, so he's got some good NBA experience. Pass deflected. Henderson has it. It's 2 on 3. He begins to slow it up. Lindemann trying to post up inside. He's got the position. Nice move there as he slams it home, but a foul will be called before the shot.
Good feed by Michael Hermon, and probably the most important thing is Lindemann doing a job of getting the ball inside. Good defense here, good help. You can see they take the passing lane away. Pat Knight takes it away. Good job by Alan Henderson going up with both hands and bringing that ball down.
2 team fouls. Hermon on a spin move. It's just out, so Indiana struggling from the field. Here's Daniels. Nearly stolen. He quickly gets it away to Lewis. Foster outside. This one is a 3. Rod Foster from the outside.
Indiana's defense much more active tonight, though, making athletes in action pick the ball up. They're recovering to the shooter much more quickly, and they just look much more alert tonight.
Henderson is off with the shot. Steve Hart, the foul, weak side on the rebound. 3 team fouls now for Indiana.
A second ago, Michael Hermon took the ball into the middle, and I think that's something that he has to do for Indiana to be successful offensively. I hope that he just doesn't get in there and just think that he's a passer. He's too great an athlete, he's a good shooter, and he can get to the basket. And when it's available, I think that he needs to get that ball to the basket like he did.
Indiana will make a substitution with 5 new players at the next whistle. 11-4, Indiana trails. Traveling, pulled the pivot foot on Daniels, and we'll see the substitution. So Evans, Miller, Eggers, Patterson, and Reed all check in the lineup. Here's Neil Reed. Andre Patterson, expecting to play a lot more, Ted. He's had a good week in practice, and I think a game like this could be one that he plays a lot in. Brian Evans is in the ball game. Indiana has not scored in the last 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach starts switching the groups up. Last week he obviously went with whatever 5 you started with, that's the 5 you played with all evening. And be interesting to see if he changes some of the groups up tonight as the game goes along.
Milton Banks, number 44 in the lineup, 4 athletes in action. Brian Evans hits the jumper. Doesn't take him long to get that jump shot away. And 2 for Indiana.
Did a much better job of moving and getting himself open. He was very sure when he did get the shot. He really squared up and knocked that right down. I think that'll be a big boost of confidence for Brian Evans.
Now let's see. His defense is where it's got to help him. The lob pass is caught by Banks. Outside now. Sewell with the jumper. And he nails that one. Long pass stolen by Sewell, but knocked out of bounds. Indiana had Croatia had a few times they didn't get back in time.
Indiana still looks more aggressive on the defensive end. Croatia, it was very easy for them to get 3-pointers. They could get them at any time. Tonight, at least athletes in action is having to work to get their 3-pointers.
Brian Evans scrapping for the ball. Steal by Daniels. It's 4 on 3.
He can shoot it.
He stops for the 3-pointer and nails it. So 3 3-point shots now have given the athletes a 17-6 lead.
Once again, Indiana having a tough time defending that 3 there. Indiana backs all the way back into the lane, and Daniels just pulls up and takes that jumper.
Patterson, one bounce is off. Rebound, Charlie Miller. Cornett goes after it. Out of bounds to the athletes. Take a look at the 3-point shooting.
A bunch to not enough. You can bet on that.
It. And we're going to see this stat a lot. Sharm Sherman pleased with that 3 out of 4 shooting. And Indiana will not have a big 3-point arsenal with this year's team.
And people are just going to have to get used to it. They're used to seeing Indiana, a team that was very explosive last year. Good defense by Rod Foster. Quick hands down inside. He's a guy that you got to keep that ball. You got to protect it. He's always had quick hands ever since the days at UCLA, and he knocks it away right there. But the fans are used to watching a team that was very explosive, led the nation in 3-point shooting, and this year just not a great shooting team.
And you have to go with where your strength is. This year it's going to be inside with Evans and Henderson. And Indiana will have to capitalize on that. 17-6. Indiana trails.
You can see athletes in action going to do a lot of screening, and Indiana's going to have to do a better job of communicating. The most important thing defensively is talking. And you've got to talk, let people know what's there as we get an offensive foul on Cornett, number 34, pushing inside. But you've got to communicate. You've got to let people know what's there. And until you do that, you're just going to have problems.
Cornett played his college ball at Vanderbilt. You may remember some of the games we did that he played on a Vanderbilt team. Neil Reed, here's Robbie Eggers. Evans is going to be the offensive threat really in this lineup. Although Neil Reed doesn't hesitate to take that shot.
And Neil Reed's a guy that really reads the defense well for only a freshman. He's a kid that his father was a coach, so he obviously little head start on the rest of the group, and he really does a nice job of reading the defense and coming off screens.
Daniel's a real good ball handler outside. Gets Cornett open. Good rebound
good
by
block
Evans.
out by Eggers.
Sewell nearly with the steal. And we've got timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Look, Indiana getting back on defense. Now the scouting report says about Daniels that he's a guy that can shoot the basketball. Neil Reed has got to go out and pick him up because you can't fall back in the lane. You've got to pick up the basketball. If you don't, there's a lot of guys throughout the country and in the Big Ten that's going to knock that down.
There's your shooting percentages. Not good for Indiana.
This group needs to spread things out a little bit. You can see, once again, Charlie Miller almost gets stripped. He's very quick, but there's so many people inside, there's just not a lot of room to move. And this team's going to have to spread things out. Neil Reed needs to pull them out and get them to set those screens a little wider on the floor rather than down on the blocks.
Reed throws in to Charlie Miller. Picked this time by Eggers. And Daniels picks up another foul. Second. They work hard on the defensive end. And Indiana struggled. Only 8 points here. 11:20 left in the first half.
8 points and almost halfway through the first half.
Here's some more. No, Evans is off. Charlie Miller rebounds. Tipped is off. Evans has the board.
Spread it out, guys.
Robbie Eggers, a jump shot off the move. It's good.
Nice job by Robbie Eggers. He came off that screen and he had in mind he wanted to shoot that jump shot. He's looked very, very good, very aggressive. Did a nice job earlier of blocking somebody out in a case where he wasn't going to get the ball, but his man definitely wasn't either. You can see Neil Reed steps into the lane, but good call by Steve Welmer. He definitely Neil Reed grabbed hold of him.
It's a trap, but a foul. Let's look.
Puts himself in good position, but you can see he grabs for the ball, and that's where he got in trouble. If he hadn't grabbed for the ball, he probably would have got away with it.
A 1-4 offense by the Athletes.
Got to talk through those screens.
Michael Porter, remember that name? 2 years ago, Porter got 39 points against Indiana right here. He's been out for the first 4 games. He just joined the team today. He said, Coach, I want to play against Indiana. And that's why he makes his first 3-point shot.
He's a guy that was a real streaky kind of player. Last year against Indiana, he had like 2 points, and the year before he had 39, and he comes out and hits a 3-pointer right away. I don't know if that's such a good sign for Indiana.
Evans is going to try to match this 3 and does. Brian Evans from the outside.
Evans doing a good job of getting the other guys in there to screen for him and getting him open, and he's coming out. And his foot position is very, very good where he can catch and he can shoot. He's not taking extra time, and because of it, he's hit 2 shots already.
Evans with 5 points. Good pressure on the defensive end. Turnover. It's the 5th now that Indiana's forced. Andre Patterson with the defense there. Emory Lewis checks in. Good look at Patterson. Lewis has 4 points. Charlie Miller playing a little guard in this lineup. He is a player who can play forward and guard.
I think he's a guy you'll see at guard. Now, in this lineup, look for Patterson to get the ball and use his quickness against Lewis. Good pass.
Off to Miller inside. And the foul is on Milton Banks.
You like to see those freshmen work together like that. Good job by Patterson. He had the opening, but he looks inside right away. You see Charlie Miller with good position, going to go up and dunk that basketball, but might have been high school, but not this league.
College Player of the Year in Florida last year, scored over 3,000 points in his high school career. Long on that free throw.
Take a little bit more time, shoot it just a little softer, but he's got really good motion. He's a guy that I think will really turn into a very, very good shooter as he gets a little bit more confidence.
He makes the second as Indiana closes in on the lead now, down 6. Just under 10 minutes left, first half.
Good pressure by Indiana. Good help by Brian Evans. They got to come up with the ball.
They do. A long pass to Evans. It's 2-on-2. And Brian goes all the way in. Very confident.
Good job by Evans to take it right to the basket when he had the opening.
7 points for Brian Evans. And he's brought this Indiana team back, now down by 4.
Evans gets 2 easy points, but what really set it up was his defensive effort on the other end.
Miller with good pressure on Porter. Indiana knows what he can do. An offensive foul as Porter called with the offhand there, shoving. And the foul goes against him.
It's an NBA move. You see a lot of guys in the NBA to get themselves open. They'll drive down the lane and just shove off with that off arm just a little bit. Michael Porter not able to get away with it.
Indiana now as close as they've been in this ball game and a chance to cut into the lead. Evans open again on a pick by Patterson is off. And Banks with the board.
Quick shot, but you did have the ball in your best shooter's hands, but I think Coach Knight would like to see a little bit more ball movement on offense.
And again at the next timeout, substitution as Indiana will bring its starters in. Michael Porter again, well guarded that time and hits a 3-pointer.
That was a bomb. That was an old NBA 3-pointer. Anymore, they've even got a short line.
Neil Reed,
that's one he better hit.
Patterson with the rebound. That shot off the dribble, not what Indiana coach Bob Knight's looking for.
Neil Reed, he's not going to see much playing time if he comes down and takes 1 or 2 dribbles and fires it up there. He can thank the good Lord that Andre Patterson was waiting for an easy basket right there.
Travel this time on Porter, so Charlie Miller putting the defensive pressure on. Here comes the substitutions. Ed Uzinski also in for the athletes in action. Indiana comes back with its starters. And there's Henderson. He's been quiet up to this point.
I think Alan Henderson is really trying to move the ball around, but I think he really needs to take it upon himself to get position down on the low block and start scoring some points for this Indiana team. He's going to have to score points if they're going to have any success this year.
Lindemann out to Hermon. Jump shot is off. Henderson tries for the board. And this foul's on Indiana. On Lindemann, trying to get that rebound. 7:55 left. The score is the athletes in action 23, Indiana 18, and we'll be back.
Jump shot. We're going to take a look at Indiana's defense. Now, watch how they help one another out. Watch how Evans steps in, gets a hand on the ball. Eggers gets a hand on the ball. Now, we need to come up with that ball. You see, Eggers finally does, gives it to Brian Evans, and Evans makes a very good decision getting the ball to the basket. Good sequence by Indiana there, both defensively and offensively.
This is Porter on the lob pass, stolen. Pat Knight's got it, 2-on-2. Henderson fills the outside lane. Hart down the middle. Henderson hangs on the rim, but it was to avoid a player. Let's see what the call is. Eric Harmon with it.
So it's Steve Hart. Charge
it is, 23. Both players, let's see.
Steve Hart, he ran over Milton Banks.
That foul goes on Hart. They point the other way because it's the 7th team foul. Let's see if they shoot the free throw.
We surely will. Nice job by Todd Lindemann on the other end of the floor defensively. Really came over and shut off Michael Porter along the baseline because of caused a turnover that should have turned into an easy 2 points. But we didn't convert.
Banks does not convert on that free throw, but he comes up with the loose ball and he cans the jumper, so he gets his 2 points anyway. 25-18. Indiana trails by 7.
It's not any excuse for letting rebounds come off on free throws. You just got to do a better job stepping down on people and not letting them get to the basket.
Henderson with a high-low tries to go to Lindemann. It's stolen. 6 first-half turnovers now for Indiana. Help and recover right there. Not in time as Porter nails another three-pointer. His third now. 9 points for Porter, and they expand the lead to 10.
Daniels got around Hermon, and because of it, Steve Hart had to come over and help.
Good hands by Daniels. Oh, good defense by Michael Hermon. He blocks the ball, avoids the foul, and Steve Hart comes up with an action very furious as Pat Knight drives in for the layup. 4 points now for Pat Knight, and Indiana trails by 8.
You see, once again, Daniels gets by Hermon, and again, they shoot the three-pointer. He missed that one.
Michael Porter on that is off. Rebound tapped by Indiana, so athletes keep the ball.
He's doing a nice job of pressuring the ball, but Daniels getting right by Hermon, and it's not doing Indiana a lot of good. People are having to come over and help. He must contain the ball.
And it's hard to help from Porter, too. You really have to be conscious to try to stay. He's 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Here he is again inside. Couldn't weave through that traffic. Indiana now, 3-on-1. Pass is out of bounds, and a good opportunity there. Ends up in a turnover.
Yeah, that's a fast break. Nice job defensively. That's just a bucket Indiana has got to get when you make that good a defensive play. Look at the turnovers already, 10 and 8. Indiana turned the ball over 8 times. There's 5 minutes still left in the first half. See, in the half-court defense, Indiana doesn't do too bad a job. It's the conversion defense where Indiana just doesn't seem to pick up and do as good a job.
Porter off balance that time, but rebound by Lewis. And new possession, new shot clock.
One thing you gotta like about Porter is he's never seen a bad shot.
And you gotta shoot a lot to get 39, and that's what he did a couple years ago. Foul inside. Let's see, it's going to be an offensive foul. That's Porter as he tries to get open. Draws the foul, his second. Foster back in, as well as Cheyenne Gibson, first-year player out of Memphis.
Good athlete, Cheyenne Gibson. Watch him get up and down the floor. Look for him to get the ball in Rod Foster's hands. He'll run it up the floor, and you'll have guys filling on the wing looking to take that three-pointer.
Pat Knight at the line now. A lot of shuffling already in the lane. It's off and a whistle. They're going to shoot it again as athletes in action crossed the line before the shot left his hand. So Pat gets another chance. He's asking if he gets back in time. Is that still a violation? Blue went over first, but then white also crossed the line. Let's see how they're going to explain it. Off the right of your screen, actually the left. Blue's in, now back. Now Henderson jumps in before the ball leaves Pat's hands. It's an alternating possession violation, and the arrow pointing to Indiana, so a very unusual call. Hate to see that happen late in the ball game. That Indiana has it. The offense doesn't seem crisp, though. The half-court offense seems hard for Indiana to get a shot away.
You see Indiana working a two-man game inside with Lindemann and Henderson. Patrick Knight gets to the basket once again, doing a nice job offensively getting to the basket and scoring some points for Indiana.
He's got 6, and it's the best offensive show we've seen. He's confidently going at the basket. Sewell outside misses. Pat saves it in to Steve Hart. Good hustle by Pat Knight. And Indiana sets it again. 4:44 left. Indiana trails by 6.
Excuse me, lads. Lindemann and Henderson are going to be playing a two-man game. They're going to be screening for one another. Nice job by Hermon getting the ball inside for another layup for Pat Knight. Good job of seeing the opening and taking it to the basket.
Pat Knight now with 8 points. Not afraid to take that drive into the basket. Indiana's going to make their substitution again with 4 players. And Cornett will come back in for Sharm Shurman's team. Here's Foster. Sewell has been quiet today and a travel that time as he tried to get that running start. 4 new players in. Neil Reed still on the bench. And let's see who will stay in the lineup. It looks like Steve Hart will stay in for Indiana.
Steve Hart going to stay in with the new guys coming in other than Neil Reed.
Good look at Hart. He's got his Michael Jordan haircut. He's got Jordan's number. There's father and son on the Indiana bench. Good first half here by Pat Knight.
He wishes he had a little bit of his money, like all the rest of us do.
I think at this point he wants to have a college career like half of what Michael Jordan did, and Steve Hart's on his way. A big improvement from last year.
You can
Here
see
he is.
Yep.
Worked on that jumper all summer. Off this time. Sewell with the board and a fast break. Foster, it's 2 on 4. He slows it down.
He'll get it in Foster's hand, run it up the floor, and then he'll try to find somebody on the wing. Now as they get into their set offense, Indiana much more effective in this defense.
Pass inside. Good play by Patterson. He should give it up. He doesn't, but tries to take it all the way. He does give it away. Charlie Miller with the layup. So Patterson showing some ball handling skill.
Miller and Patterson do a nice job of finding one another. That's the second time tonight Patterson has found Miller, and Miller did a nice job of hustling up the floor to get in position for that layup.
Indiana's down 2. 3 minutes left, first half. Here's Cornett.
Good block out.
Off, and Evans was there in good position. Indiana chance to tie. Eggers post. Turning and shooting, and good offensive move by Robbie Eggers.
Indiana's got to pick up. Right here is where they get beat once in a while. They fall asleep. Nice job picking up. Good job by Steve Hart of getting the ball to Robbie Eggers. He found his position down there on the block. It's nice when you do get open to have the guard feed you.
Tie ball game. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Outside jumper is off. Good board, though, by Sewell. He gets it knocked away. And Uzinski has the board, and he's fouled.
Charlie Miller didn't get a body on Cheyenne Gibson, and because of it, Cheyenne Gibson knocked that ball loose, and now they're going to go to the line for 2 shots. You can see Coach Knight discussing it with Charlie.
Good look at Charlie Miller. Good looking player. 6'7", 200 pounds. He's going to gain some weight. He's got good quickness. Likes to use that left hand. This is Ed Uzinski out of Kent State. 6'2" guard. Good free throw shooter. And a 1-point lead now.
One key we talked about tonight was Indiana bigger and stronger inside getting to the free throw line, and they've gotten there twice tonight and not converted on either one, so Indiana going to have to do a better job at the line.
Second one also good. We'll be back after these messages from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Athletes in action, 30-28. Good job by Hermon, using his quickness, getting into the middle, drawing the defense. Patrick Knight sees the opening, takes it to the baseline, gets the easy layup. The more Patrick Knight can score, the better here. Nice job by Andre Patterson. And as Dickie V would say, Coach, I can handle that rock. Let me do it.
Oh, no, kid, don't do that, Ted. Don't do that to us. We like it just the way you are.
You like to see those freshmen working together like that.
Robbie Eggers' quick shot is off, and still with the board. One thing I'd say about Indiana's offense, Coach, and not having was not taking the 4 passes before they shoot.
Yeah, they're
going to hear about that.
They've been a little quick. The one gentleman has not been back out on the floor since he fired one up.
Rod Foster to the hoop. Oh, man, is that quickness there. He gets right through the Indiana defense. Quick whistle.
Coach.
Timeout by Indiana, as Coach wanted to mention to Robbie Eggers probably not helping out there as Foster went by everybody.
Coach obviously upset. I mean, we just got back from a timeout. He calls a timeout after about 30 seconds. So, all
right, now a message from the Big Ten. Indiana trails by 4 as we close in on the first half. Field goal.
It's kind of a strange.
The subs of Indiana.
Strange stat. Both subs have outscored the starters, 17 for Athletes and 16 for Indiana.
Foul there as Patterson had a drive on the baseline. Andre Patterson, 6'8", 220 out of Abilene, Texas. That foul's going to go against Cornett. But Patterson, for a freshman, there you see his high school stats. Good looking body, just some things to train him on how to become efficient with that ball. Neil Reed checks back in.
Andre Patterson, I think, is going to really be a great player at Indiana. He recognizes things very well. He's got wonderful instincts inside with the ball, shoots the basketball well. There he recognized that he was a little bit quicker than the people guarding him, and he took it to the basket and got a free throw out.
Good defense by Evans, the pressure. This is Cornett outside. Eggers is up on him. Step out. Here's Cornett. Jump hook misses everything, and Evans is there. He's double teamed now. And quickly off to Miller. Here comes Reed now, 3-on-3. Eggers, now Indiana begins to pass. See if they can set the picks and get somebody open. 1:05 left first half.
Eggers and some of the guys that do well here to get Brian Evans open.
And shot fake is well used, but can't get the shot.
Good pass inside.
Shot clock at 10. Charlie Miller looked like he lost control of that ball.
Out of bounds.
Cornett on the line as he touches it, and Indiana retains possession.
Good call there, lads. I think that the ball definitely slipped down into the palm of Charlie Miller's hand. We could see it, and when you get it down there, it's kind of like you're shot putting it rather than shooting it.
No touch with that kind of shot, and it came up empty. Take some time to wipe the floor. They did not reset the shot clock. The reason there was no possession by the Athletes.
And he really didn't have possession. Coach is saying if he was out of bounds, he had to have possession, but he was really laying on the basketball on his back.
Evans with a three-pointer tried to come out, so the out-of-bounds play works. The Indiana now trails by, it's even now. That three-pointer ties it up.
Good job by the Indiana offense getting Brian Evans open. He's the veteran in there. You got some big bodies in there. They need to set some screens and get Brian open for some jump shots. Brian very active on the offensive end tonight.
10-second difference on the shot clock. Good drive by Sewell, and he gets the layup. No weak side help there, and we're down in the last 20 seconds.
Good drive, but bad defense by Indiana.
Cross court, Charlie Miller. Indiana looks for the last shot. Evans has it.
Got to get it inside.
5 seconds.
Oh,
and
bad
a
decision.
steal by the athletes as time expires in the first half. And Indiana's going to have to learn how to take control of those last possessions in the half. That can be a big boost going to halftime. And the score is Indiana 34-32. The athletes in action well pleased with that first half. And they like nothing more like a half like that coming back out. It's halftime, and we'll be back after these messages.
Basket. Good job by Pat Knight. You can see he had 8 points on 4 or 5 shooting in the first half. Indiana will take that anytime they can get it. Nice screen by Eggers inside to get Brian Evans open, who's been very, very active tonight. You can see that one ends up right in the bottom. Brian Evans comes off the bench a little bit in the doghouse and scores 10 points on 4 or 6 from the field.
Indiana's back on the floor, and we'll be back with second half action after these messages. His team at halftime looking for some defense here in the second half and a little better offensive execution too. A little more passing before that shot.
I think Brian Evans' first half performance is going to get him a start here in the second half, along with Pat Knight, Steve Hart, Alan Henderson.
Why do you think Henderson had such a tough start in that first half, Ted, offensively?
Well, he really didn't have that tough a start. He just is not putting the ball up enough. I think he's got to get himself in position. He doesn't like to work on the block a lot. I think he likes to get the ball out and face the basket a little bit. Last year, you remember in the Michigan State game where he scored, I think, 41. He was very, very active all over the floor. But I think to kind of get that kick started, he needs to kind of get the ball down on the post and get inside, get some easy baskets, get to the free throw line, and that will open up the outside game a little bit for him.
Speaking of games, our next televised game will be at South Bend against the Fighting Irish. John McLeod's Fighting Irish team. And Ted, it's our 2-year anniversary. 2 years ago at that game, you and I started.
That's where we're
still here today, contrary to the belief of some people 2 years ago.
They haven't thrown us out yet.
They've still got us. All right, second half action underway. And the athletes have the first possession. Here's Daniels, a pretty good first half for the little point guard. Shot by Cornett is off. Henderson with a board. Very important now for Indiana to take control here in the second half. Experienced unit in there right now. Mismatch now as Foster picks up Henderson. Wild pass though, stolen easily by Sewell. And here comes Daniels.
Alan Henderson got to do something with the basketball. Stood just a little bit too long.
Cornett wide open, easy layup. And Indiana runs that drill in practice where it's 5 on 4, 4 on 5. You got to pick up a man. Nobody got him underneath the basket.
Somebody just turned their back on the man, looked over at the ball. You got to look back and forth very, very quickly. If not, things like that happen.
Lindemann turnaround jumper on the post feed, and the big guy gets two.
The thing most impressive about Todd Lindemann inside this year is just him getting position and holding that position. Last year, he'd get the position and let people around him. He's doing a nice job of holding the position, getting the ball inside and scoring some points for Indiana.
A lot of confidence, too. You know, the coaches work with him, the big men down at one end, and he's got confidence now, not even taking a dribble, turn and shoot.
And he's got to use that big frame of his inside to get position.
Sewell misses on the shot. Indiana there for the boards. And a chance to tie the ball game. We're a minute and a half into the second half. Good pass. Henderson all the way in. Assist to Pat Knight.
Pat Knight looked at that from the time he got the ball at half court. He saw that going down inside, took the ball to that side of the floor, and was able to get Alan Henderson an easy 2 points. Good job by Pat Knight.
Score tied. Daniels takes it in. Here's Foster. Trapped a little on that baseline. Continues to dribble. Wild shot. Picked up by Sewell. Tough pass inside. But Lindemann's going to get called on the foul on that flash cut by Emory Lewis.
He's in great position right there if he just steps over and just absolutely takes the lane away from him. Now watch, if he just steps up and takes that lane away rather than reaching, the man never gets to the position, but instead he kind of reaches and he gets a foul.
Long outside shot. Daniels right in front of the AIA bench, and he nails a three. And the 3-point lead. Daniels 8 points now for the reserve guard.
He's a guy that can shoot the basketball.
Lindemann again, posts up, turns, jumper is good. 2 in a row now as Lindemann gain some more confidence.
I think Coach Knight, look for Indiana, continue to pound it in there to Todd Lindemann. He's able to get the ball in the low block. He's got some confidence, as you mentioned, Laz, and doing a nice job offensively for Indiana.
They talked about free throws. 2 of 4 for Indiana first half, only 4 times to the line.
Coach Knight always, one important thing is he wants to get to the line more than the opposition.
Rod Foster, a long shot off, and the rebound is tapped out by the athletes. Indiana takes possession. Indiana down one.
Gets some back screen here. Brian Evans going to set a good back screen, kind of gets everybody flowing into the offense. Need somebody on the low block right down there. Alan Henderson, nice job of cutting over. Going to create a shot, whether one's there or not.
And it's missed. Lewis with the board. Fast break to Daniels. Good block by Henderson. And it's tapped out. Hart knocked it into the leg of Sewell. And Indiana has possession. Great block, a good shot by Henderson. He's going to come out. Patterson comes in for him.
Yeah, great block by Alan Henderson on the other end after making a poor decision on the offensive end. Good job getting up there, not fouling. But on the other end, he's just going to have to wait, and he needs to get down on that block and post up because there's openings down there for him.
Here's Patterson quickly in. He posts up and he traveled. The ball has to hit the floor before that pivot foot moves. And that is being called a lot more this year in college basketball.
Took that one little bunny step inside, and but the post position is open inside. Todd's getting open down in there. Andre got open right there. Allen just needs to get back in there, and he needs to work down the post.
Daniels dishes Sewell with an open shot, and the athletes having trouble from the field. Evans with the board. Indiana now a chance to take the lead.
Give it to him.
Something they have not enjoyed, and Evans goes for it. 3. Perfect angle there, and Indiana leads it by 2.
Nice job once again by Pat Knight finding the open man.
And the first lead of the game brings this crowd to life.
They've been waiting a long time. Indiana travel.
Dragged the pivot foot. That was pressure by Evans, so he did not start because of defense, but he's done a nice job. We've got 15:49 left, and Indiana leads it by 2. We'll be back after these messages.
Leads 41-39. Going to take a look. Watch Indiana's ball movement. Do a nice job of swinging the ball around. Brian Evans waits on this side of the floor, and because of it, it gets a nice pick from Andre Patterson and a good shot knocking down the three-pointer. You take a look at the shooting. Indiana shooting 80%. I think a lot of that has to do with getting good shots in the second half in comparison to only 47 in the first half.
4 out of 5 Indiana's made. See, that's an out-of-bounds play. The back pick by Lindemann, and Steve Hart with the nice reception. Brian Evans threw that pass.
Just like Michael Jordan.
We'll see that play in certain situations.
Good job by Evans.
Shot, that's Porter.
Ran past him a little bit, but a nice job of recovering. Great pass, and you got to take that one up.
It somehow got to Hart. He's got 2 baskets in a row, 4 on the night.
One thing I think Coach Knight will point out to Andre Patterson in films is that, he's 6'8", he's 220 pounds. He's in a position there where he's got to take that ball up on the glass and try to either get 2 points or get to the free throw line.
Rod Foster, good shot there as Hart was on him pretty good. Indiana by 4.
You only have to give Rod Foster just a little bit of an opening, and he's going to make 2 points out of it.
9 points now for Foster. Back cut. Hart loses the ball momentarily. Todd Lindemann on the rebound is off. Here's Daniels. It's 2-on-1. He goes to Porter. Shot is blocked. It was on the way up. And Patterson's going to draw the foul on the push, but the crowd buzzing on that block shot.
Andre Patterson, nice job of getting back. Nice block shot. You're going to take a look at it here as Andre Patterson. He could have easily given up. Look at his hustle down the floor.
There you see him coming into your screen.
Just throws it off the glass.
And a quick move back inside by Foster. Foster draws the foul.
Lindemann kind of got their feet tangled up. Big guy usually gets the worst of that as far as the foul call.
9 points for Foster. He averages 13 a game.
And he is a great free throw shooter. He led the country when he played at UCLA. He's a guy that shoots about 90% from the free throw line.
He makes both. And Indiana leads by 2. A little pressure now by Foster. Hart brings it up. It's a high offense, 1-4. Now trying to post the lead to Lindemann. And Lindemann called for the push off. He had the position, but the push is what caused the foul.
I called Todd Lindemann for a push there as he kind of got off balance. It looked like Todd was turning to go screen instead of looking at the basketball.
Third foul on Lindemann, and he stays in the game. Inside move. Cornette comes up with the loose ball.
Ooh, looked like a travel.
Foster with a 3, and he goes down. No foul. Well guarded that time. Foster now with 14 points. What an explosive player. Lindemann, good post up.
You see what they like to do is they like to drive the ball to the middle, and then they have people who fill the wings, and they like to shoot that three-pointer. Good hands by Patterson to come up with that basketball.
And a foul as Lindemann starts to use his size and weight inside to get open.
Indiana can get that position on the block at any time. They've got to take advantage. They've got to continue to go down in there, and you know, sooner or later they're going to get to the free throw line as Alan Henderson checks back in for Indiana.
Henderson's going to come back in. Patterson did a nice job while he was in there, and Henderson just 4 points. Patterson's picked up 3 points.
Take a good look at him, though, because you're going to see a lot of him on the basketball floor in the next 4 years for Indiana.
You could fill right in for Henderson next year as Henderson will graduate. Good pass back inside. Evans with the turn. Depending on the size of the player that is guarding Brian, he can play some of that inside position. Good steal by Knight.
Rod Foster got a little in front of himself.
And a good steal there. It's 3 on nobody. Foster with the layup. As Pat Knight tried to take it in and dish it off, it was read and stolen by the athletes in action.
It's twice tonight Indiana's had good opportunities on breaks, and they've not come up with either one.
They're going to away from the ball as Daniels
on 34. I think
going for the steal. And a foul is going to be called on Cornette on a hold. Great action out there tonight. A great test for Indiana today. Cornette's third foul. Indiana having trouble getting it in, and they do. Porter tried to make a steal from behind, and he gets called on the foul. That's his third. Pat Knight takes it out again.
Indiana kind of fell asleep there. Nobody screening, nobody getting open. A little bit more aware right here as Steve Hart gets the ball inbound.
Evans now being guarded by Foster. Lindemann and Henderson pick for each other inside. Hart open. Shot fake and good on the little jump hook as Steve Hart works inside.
Great pass by Brian Evans to find Steve Hart inside. Indiana going to have to take advantage if they get Evans with Rod Foster on him. Indiana going to have to go inside and get Brian Evans the basketball. 6
points now for Hart. Indiana leads by 1. 12:20 left for second half. Daniels drives in trouble. A wild pass stolen.
Good
all
lead.
The way out to Evans. The shot is blocked by Milton Banks. 3 on 3. Foster will take a 3. And Hart with the high rebound. Action up and down the floor. I think that's the way the athletes in action would like to play, but maybe not Indiana. Lindemann finds himself open. Short on the shot, taps it away. Scramble, Cornette comes up with it, and he calls timeout. Good, quick thinking there as athletes in action retain possession. It does cost him a timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Break. You can see, nice job by Indiana coming over. They throw the ball away. Henderson picks it up, throws it ahead to Brian Evans. Great lead pass. Brian's just got to take this and lay it up. Instead, it looks like he goes up with two hands. He's going to think about dunking it. And you start thinking about that dunk, and you end up with nothing. If he'd have just laid it up off the glass, I think he'd have got 2 points. That's my pet peeve, Laz.
I heard it again, and the folks have been writing in about it. But it did cost Indiana a basket there. Second half shooting, Indiana's still doing a nice job. Daniels. There's Porter, well guarded by Evans.
Good block out.
Evans comes up with the board.
Didn't come up with it, but he got a hand on it. And another Indiana man gets the ball.
Henderson wide open. The crowd saw it.
Henderson's got to give that ball up and then post up right away rather than just standing there.
Hart does it this time. He's got a quick release on that shot, coming to life offensively. Steve Hart. 4 baskets here in the second half. He's got 8. We're at 11 minutes left. Indiana leads by 3. No substitutions here, or the mass substitution as Indiana's done in the first half. Dunk shot is blocked, and Steve Hart has the steal. 4-on-4. Pat Knight lob to Evans. Layup is good.
Good pass and great hands by Brian Evans. Good hands will do a lot for you, and Brian Evans able to catch that pass by Pat Knight and put it in.
15 points now for Evans, and just as I mentioned that coach had gone away from the substitution, he's going to bring the second 5 in now at the next whistle. Foster outside, high off the rim, and Henderson high on the board for the rebound.
Indiana doing an excellent job blocking out tonight. Another good block out by Lindemann and Henderson right there.
Indiana's biggest lead now at 5 points. Make that still 5 as Evans misses a good shot. And we're at 10 minutes left in the game. Daniels coast to coast, layup is off. And Henderson and Lindemann there for the board.
Lindemann needs to go right down and post right there. Pat will get him the ball.
Back around weak side. Henderson shot fake, count it, and he gets a free throw.
It's the second time this year we've seen him use that shot fake that they work on so much in practice, lean up between the defense and have a chance at 3 points. Going to take a look at it on the replay. You can see he gets it at the top of the key. See, nice job, good body control of leaning in and making the shot.
Henderson has a chance for a 3-point play. That foul on Foster, his first. 6 points. We expect Henderson to be Indiana's top scorer this year. And again, the free throw not there for Indiana.
There's another $25 into the Gleaners Food Bank from Noble Roman's Pizza. With this reminder, bring a can of food for Gleaners to Noble Roman's Pizza anytime tomorrow and get a large hand-tossed pizza with 1 topping for just $5 tomorrow at Noble Roman's.
Indiana leads it by 8 as they've taken control here in the second half. Shot blocked by Patterson. And called for the foul. Jerry Petro underneath. Let's see what happened there.
You see, he really makes a pretty good block. The only problem is he swings down on top of it, and whether he fouls him or not, it looks like a foul. Good job of finding the opening right here. But you can see that he swings down, and even though he didn't make much contact, they're going to call that foul every time.
Emery Lewis at the line. Good look at Patterson. I think one of the things that folks will enjoy this year about the team is watching these new kids come along as they learn the system. Their natural ability will shine more and more. Get them some playing time, even this year as freshmen. Good defense that time as Lewis knocks it away. Patterson tried to post.
Good idea. Patterson let the defense come up over his shoulder. In that case, Hermon's either got to take it down and give him a bounce pass, but really what needs to happen, Patterson just has to do a better job of posting, not letting the man come over the top of it.
A whistle even before the ball comes in, holding on Gibson.
Cheyenne
tried to prevent Reed from getting that ball. A great bunch of kids on this Athletes in Action team. They have quite a schedule. They're playing North Carolina, Duke, and Purdue all within the next 4 days.
Better job by the freshmen of spreading it out, getting some room inside for people to work.
Reed picks the dribble up. Eggers is open. Scramble now. Out of bounds. Touch last by Indiana. And a turnover. 14 turnovers now for Indiana in the game. Take some time to wipe up the floor there. And we're back to action.
Athletes in Action, a team that can come back very quickly. They like to take that three-pointer. Indiana doing a nice job putting a lot of pressure. They're going to call Rod Foster for using that there. Yeah, using that off arm and hooking him and gaining the advantage on the offensive end. One thing they started calling. They've called it in the NBA for a long time, but you've been able to get away with it in college.
8:43 left. Michael Hermon outside. Stolen right in front of the Indiana bench as Sewell picks his pocket. There's
Second
Foster.
time tonight he's been picked. Let's do a better job of taking care of that basketball.
Foster on the baseline leaves an opening inside, and Banks takes advantage of it. That's the weak side help, not there for Indiana.
Indiana got out of position early, and they just never could catch back up. Because of it, Athletes in Action get an easy basket.
Lead is 5 by Indiana. Neil Reed way outside for 3, and he gets a nice bounce, and it goes in.
Well, that was
questionable shot.
That was a quick shot as Athletes in Action. Oh, they're going to call him out of bounds. He's standing on the line, even though he knocked Neil Reed out of the way to get to it. But Neil Reed is very thankful that one went in as they go to a timeout.
7:52 left. Indiana leads it 59-51. We'll be back after these messages.
Noble Romans presents Deep Dish.
Defense, we talk about him getting behind and not able to catch up. Watch Michael Hermon here. He's going to pick up Rod Foster right here. Now watch how he gets behind. He does get screened. Rod Foster's going to give the ball up, but now watch how he relaxes. He turns his body on the ball. He doesn't recover very well, and because of it, the Athletes in Action end up with a very easy bucket. Michael Hermon going to have to do a better job and play at a little faster pace.
Indiana 4 of 5 now from three-point shooting, and Rod Foster just took Neil Reed to school.
Welcome to the the college ranks.
19 points for Foster. We know all about his quickness. Here's Hermon. He goes inside to Charlie Miller. Back outside and now in. Miller. Good move there as he quickly turns on Uzinski.
Nice job. Indiana continues to be able to get their position on the block. Able to score inside. No back.
5 for Charlie Miller. Sewell on the backdoor cut. Shot is blocked and a foul, and Sewell looks like he got banged in the face.
One thing we saw Coach Ellenberger talk about last week was the help side positioning. When the ball is on the other side of the floor, how you have to be off of your man. In that case, if you would have been off of your man, you would have been in the perfect position to draw a charge. Instead, we were too close to our man on the other side of the floor, and it turns into a foul for Indiana.
Watch Neil Reed here, Ted.
He's trying to get into the offense. That just crosses it right in front of Rod Foster's nose, and you just can't do that. People in college and in the NBA, they're just so quick that you bring that ball across their nose, and they're just going to take it from you.
It's like Sewell got it right on the nose. There's a trainer out there. He's got a mouthpiece. See a lot of players go to that now to protect the teeth. And he's going to come out. Looks a little dazed even as he comes to the bench. Daniels at the line. He's played a good game. Spunky little kid. He gets that free throw to drop. Indiana now by 6. Just over 7 minutes left, second half. This second group done a nice job to hold the lead.
Oh, you got to give it to Charlie Miller. Did a nice job getting himself open, and then did not get the ball on the block.
Indiana definitely looking inside now. There's Miller again. Now he's open.
Oh, good shot
fake. Off on his shot though, and he just can't finish it. Here's Uzinski.
That's the difference that you'll see in another 4 or 5 games as he matures and gets a little bit more comfortable. He'll make that play and he'll be able to finish it. Right now he makes the play but wasn't able to finish it with the basket.
Good post inside, shot is off. There's Miller with the board. So the defense there again for the Hoosiers.
Oh,
cut
good
inside,
move.
Neil Reed, pass to Eggers. Good offense, gets a layup.
Nice ball movement by Indiana. Good unselfishness and good ball movement inside to get an easy layup for Robbie Eggers.
Foster open outside. He's missed several three-pointers. Uzinski was on the line. He tried to get behind it, but it is 2 points. Steve Walmer with that call.
Right there is what we talk about. You need to get a body on somebody. That time Patterson did not get a body on Lewis, and because he didn't know where he was, he couldn't find him, and then Lewis just reaches right up over the top, tips it to himself, and they get an easy basket. You've got to get your butt on him, and you got to get a body on him so you know where he is.
Neil Reed's been setting that pick to get Charlie Miller open. This time it's going to be a foul on the athletes, 1-1. Coach Knight talks to Reed. Porter checks back in. See, he's made 3 three-point shots. And Cornette also in. See that cross there on the athletes in action uniform as they travel around these exhibition games, giving the college team some good play as they spend a lot of time talking about the work of Jesus Christ as they do their travels. Free throw shot is missed. Indiana on the board though, and a three-point shot is missed. So again, Indiana's gotten to the line, but having trouble stroking down that free throw. Porter outside is off, so both teams shooting off here in the second half.
Reed's got an advantage, takes it down inside, nothing there, needs to bring it back out. And loses
Turnover,
it.
gives it back to the athletes in action. So just as Indiana seems to be pulling together, they commit some turnovers, take some shots, and leave Coach Knight shaking his head.
And most people would say you have to expect that out of freshmen, but I don't think you'd get that response out of Coach Knight. I don't think he feels they ought to make those mistakes. They've been practicing over a month, and if there's something there, take it down in there. If not, keep it outside, get some screens, and get into the offense.
The first 5 unit will check back in here just at under 5 minutes left in the game, and they'll probably finish it.
Patterson doing a nice job showing you that he can play defense as Porter just knocks a bomb down from about 30 feet away. But Patterson showing you that he's a guy that can go out on the floor and defend people.
Porter now with 12, the lead down to 3. See if Indiana gets it into Patterson. He and Eggers moving inside. Charlie Miller on the drive. Contact but no foul. Daniels comes away with it. It's 2-on-1 now. He likes to pull up for that shot. It's off, and Charlie Miller has it, but athletes in action is back.
Good experience play by Daniels, though. They're dropping stopping and taking the jump shot as Indiana just makes one too many passes.
Hermon left his feet without knowing what to do. Uzinski inside. Tough shot that time as Banks squeezes between 2 Indiana players. It's a 1-point game. 3:50 left in the game.
Indiana's going to have to call timeout to get these guys back in. Quick shot again.
Reed did that in the first half and came right out of the game. He misses that shot, and Indiana needs a defensive stand here, or they'll trail by 1.
Coach Knight not very happy. He talked to Neil Reed about that in the first half. He shot the ball very, very quickly as they're going to get a blocking foul on Andre Patterson. And Reed once again takes a quick shot.
And that whistle will give Indiana a chance to make their substitution. Foul was on Patterson. we've got timeout. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Leads it by 1. A good test here for this first unit. Has just over 3 minutes left. See if they can hold a 1-point lead. Porter with a quick shot. Good hands there by Hart. And he comes up with a steal. Steve Hart shows his quickness.
Great play by Steve Hart right there, coming up with that basketball. Indiana not able to come up with the quick shot by off the rebound by Michael Porter.
Pat Knight picks his dribble up.
This is where Alan Henderson really needs to step up. He needs to get the ball inside and take over.
He heard you, and he comes through as he bangs it off the rim and backboard to get 2.
Talking about you, Alan. Thank you.
9 points for Henderson. But I think that's pretty obvious what Indiana needs to do in crunch time. This year it's go to Alan Henderson inside.
I think he knows that he can do it. So far he's just not taking it upon himself to really take over as Cornette steps out. Indiana doesn't do a good job of recovering. And
Lindemann stepped out but left Cornette open. And a tie score. Again, the 3-point shot fatal to Indiana.
If Indiana can get somebody open here inside.
Good hands by Porter.
Gonna have to do a better job of screening, getting one another open.
Here's Henderson on the block. And a push from behind. He lost control of the ball, but Sewell was there on the push, and he draws the foul. And Indiana will be at the line.
He really made a nice move right there. It looked like he was going to have an easy layup or a dunk. But he lost control of the basketball. You can see a nice job of moving inside. Steve Hart's going to step out, and that's where Allen needs to turn, gain his position. You can see a nice fake, and he's going to have probably a layup right there, and he lost control of the basketball. Go to the line for 2.
It's a 1-and-1.
Indiana continues to shoot very poorly from the free throw line.
We've got a tie score with 2 minutes left, 2:03. Again, Indiana did not expect this game to be as close as it's turned out to be. Porter, again from long range, partially tipped by Hart, and Henderson pulls it down. At night, they go to Hart. Lindemann trying to post. Opposite blocks, Henderson and Lindemann. Now Hart inside.
Indiana's spacing is not very good. There's a number of times that the post position is open, but they're so close that they cannot get the ball into the post travel.
He called it. Eric Harmon saw it. Evans pulled that pivot foot before the ball hits the floor. Crucial turnover. We're 1:31 left. Bob Knight wondering on the Indiana bench.
It's a good call by Eric Harmon. He was in great position right there. Brian Evans comes across the lane, didn't get the ball on the floor, and because of it, Indiana another turnover.
Timeout by Athletes in Action with 1:27 left. Score is tied at 65. We'll be back after these messages.
Every morning when a GTE telephone customer picks up the phone,
Away and getting a possession for Indiana.
The last time the Athletes in Action led was at 16 minutes. They led by 2. Now they've got another chance. The three-point shooting again hurting Indiana. 21 shots they've given from the three-point line. 1:17 left, high score.
Trying to get the ball in Porter's hands.
Cornette with a drive and a block that time was Lindemann. So he moved his feet well and comes up with a defensive play. Shot clock's at 16.
Indiana going to have to get some screens right here. Going to have to do a good job communicating.
Daniels for 3, yes, as Pat Knight dropped off just a little, and Daniels hits the high archer for 13 points. 1 minute left, Indiana trails by 3.
And the Athletes in Action are really hopping on defense. This would be a great victory if they could beat Indiana here tonight.
Henderson, as Indiana checks its spacing, good talk out there by Hart. Here's Evans, triple teamed. Foul inside, let's see, that's gonna go on Uzinski as he was mismatched on Lindemann. The foul shooter will be Evans as he got the triple team. Let's see, that'll be a 1-and-1 because it was not in the act of shooting. And Brian Evans at the line. 47 seconds left. Indiana's down by 3 points. Here's Evans, 15 points, good offensive night as he came in off the bench, not a starter in the ball game tonight.
There's another $25 into the Gleaners Food Bank from Noble Roman's Pizza. With this reminder, Noble Roman's breadsticks are made from scratch daily. So don't forget to order some the next time you have a pizza delivered. Noble Roman's, the better pizza people.
2 shots, good by Evans. Shot clock is about 12 seconds difference, and a very important possession here for Indiana. And here's Porter. The crowd hollers defense. Porter on the drive. Jumper is off. Cornett with the board. Shot clock starts again, and it is off. So Indiana's going to have to foul and put the athletes on the line. Let's see who it'll be. Uzinski, as Hart makes the play. 22 seconds left. They put Uzinski on the line.
He's a good free throw shooter. The entire team shooting very, very good for athletes in action.
He's only 3 out of 4 this year, 75%. Let's take a look. Porter had a good shot. He comes up short. Good block by Lindemann. Block out, but Cornett came in untouched.
Daniels is 12 of 14 on the year, so he's a very, very good free throw shooter.
You did it to him as he misses. The rebound comes out, and Indiana gets it.
Put the hex on him.
Good test here. Indiana, 20 seconds left. They're down by 1, and they need a good shot. Here we go. Hart, guarded by Daniels.
Got to get the ball in Evans or Henderson's hands and make them do something with it.
10 seconds. Hart all the way. Layup is good. 8 seconds. Porter is off at the buzzer. As athletes in action got 2 shots. Neither one drops, and Steve Hart makes a lightning drive to the hoop to give Indiana the 1-point victory. And you see the team giving him congratulations on the floor. The coaches meet. Sharm Shurman and Coach Bob Knight. A well-contested game. The 2 coaches very good friends, as Coach Knight invites Sharm and his team back each year for an annual visit to Assembly Hall. There's Sewell, as Coach Knight makes it a point to congratulate the athletes team. They put up a great show tonight and showed their usual gentlemanly selves. There you see them, all smiles. As soon as the game's over, they come back in as very good gentlemen. Rod Foster, a guy Coach Knight's had a lot of experience with, as Indiana escapes with a 1-point victory. And what a great heads-up play by Steve Hart as he drives from half-court. Ted, smart play for the sophomore.
I think that these are the type of things Steve Hart has got to make happen. He's a great athlete, does a nice job of seeing what's going on. You can see athletes in action turn their back. That's the type of things that he has to make happen in the Indiana offense. He's not a great shooter, a guy that's going to shoot a lot of three-pointers. He's got to get to the basket and use his athletic ability as he did right here. Nice job, but as time's running down.
All 10 points by Hart were scored in the second half. And look at Pat Knight's coming to set a pick, which brings the defense right into Hart, but the move came so quickly that Hart was able to get around it.
You can see number 32 for athletes in action. When you're talking about needing to know where the basketball is defensively, he lost sight of the basketball, and because of it, he got Steve Hart running right up his back with a layup. And
great play inside from Alan Henderson, Brian Evans, and Andre Patterson, but inconsistency at the guard position.